This is the next step where you told the story and you talked about it, and we're gonna add the actual written ideas that go with the visual ideas in the picture. So when I look at this picture, I see a lot of ideas. I can see a man, this tall man. I can see a woman, and I think these are kids. But we need to figure out who these people are in the story, and we need to figure out where they're at. So let's talk about the people first. I'm going to call this man, I think all these people together, to me, they look like a family. And this man is part of the family. I'm going to call him the dad. So I'm actually going to put this idea right here. And this idea says dad, and it looks like this. So this is the idea of dad. And in this family, I also see this lady, and I'm going to call her mom. All right? And that idea says mom, and it looks like this. And then I see some kids, and I could call them kids, but I think they need names. This kid is this mom's son, and I think I want to name him Tom. So I'm going to call him Tom. And I know that Tom is the mom's son, so I'm just going to make sure I remember that idea. I'm going to put it right there. This boy is the mom's son, and his name is Tom. And I see that Tom is playing with another boy, and I think that's his brother. So I'm going to name him Jim. And we're going to call him Jim. And Tom and Jim are boys, but they're also brothers. So I'm going to put the idea of brother here in case we want to call them brothers later when we talk about them. All right, these are brothers. And when I look at all of these people, I'm going to call them a family. I'm just going to put the idea of family down here so I don't forget it. And in this family is the dad and the mom and the brothers. And I'm going to make sure I can really remember that. I'm going to put these little people here. Okay, so we have the family, and we've got the mom and the dad and the brothers, and I realize they look to me like they're at a park. I see a tree, I see a picnic bench, I see a nice field where they could play. So I'm going to put the idea of park up here so we can remember where they're at. This is what this idea looks like. Now, while the family is at the park, I notice they're doing many different things. It looks to me, I see the dad placing these red things on this thing, and I'm pretty sure that's meat and that's a grill, because I know when I go to a park and I see somebody putting things on this hot grill, they're probably cooking. So I'm going to call this a grill, because that looks like a grill I've seen before. And I'm going to call this meat. Now, usually the meat I put on a grill is called hamburger, so I'm going to call these hamburgers. I'm going to have to squish that one. No, I really have to squish that one. And his hand is doing something, and I could say he's putting the hamburgers on the grill, but I'm going to say he's actually laying the hamburgers on the grill, because he's not throwing the hamburgers on the grill. He's actually laying them down very carefully, because the grill is really hot and he doesn't want to burn his hands. So I see that the dad is laying hamburgers on the grill, and I see that the mom is over here with this bowl, and the bowl is full of, I think that's salad. So I see the mom's doing something with the salad with the spoon. I think she must be mixing that salad. Maybe she's trying to get some tomatoes in there or some salad dressing. So she's mixing the salad. And when I think about salad and a picnic bench and a place to sit and making hamburgers, I'm thinking that all the reason that they're at this park up here, they're at the park, is that they can have a picnic. I think they want to eat something and enjoy some fresh air. So since they're having a big picnic at the park, I'm going to add that idea too. All of these ideas together could be called a picnic. Dad laying hamburgers on the grill, Mom mixing the salad. This is all going to be part of the picnic that the family's having at the park. Now, while Mom was mixing the salad and Dad's laying hamburgers on the grill so that they can all eat their lunch at their picnic, I think Jim and Tom maybe were just wanting to play for a little while because they were waiting. And they didn't have an iPad or anything to play with. So they actually had a ball at the picnic. And I see this ball here, so I want to make sure we can see it. So I'm going to put that idea right by ball. All right. And Tom and Jim were probably throwing that ball back and forth. Okay, so they were playing with the ball. And I see that there's this line here that tells us where the ball is going. So I'm going to put the idea of throwing right on that line because I'm pretty sure that Jim was throwing the ball. So Jim and Tom were throwing the ball. Unfortunately, that last throw was just too strong, and that ball just flew right over Tom's head. And unfortunately, the ball hit the pitcher of juice. And so we're probably going to need to talk about how that pitcher got knocked over by the ball. And so that's an example of how you can get started tagging ideas onto a semantically rich picture. At my ideas, I noticed that this one didn't quite look right. So I need to fix that up. Fortunately, this sounds gross, but we can just take that shape away and we can start over. And I didn't really have enough space there, so I think I'm going to make a little arrow here. And I'm actually going to write the idea right here. And this time I'm going to make sure I get the right shape. Let me double check and make sure I have the right shape this time. And now we can really see that idea.